Yeah.
That's catchy.
That is. That's what a hamburger's all about. And if you're going there today and you grab yourself an In-N-Out burger, make sure you get a drink and find out what Bible verse you got on the bottom.
Yes, sir.
Because they do that. They're a very Christian-oriented company and treat their people right, which is a good thing. And you know what? We touched on it the other day, like trickle-down economics, like back in the day with Reagan. Because I liked Reagan. He was like the first president, where I really got involved. I knew Carter, there was an issue. I was a kid, but I knew there was an issue. But the common sense said, look, this is the way to go, Reagan. Even as a 10-year-old, I'm like, wow. And trickle-down economics doesn't work in today's world because it's about the CEOs. It's about the shareholders. It's about cutting the bottom line to make sure you cover everything and get a return. And because of that, I mean, it's you can't have trickle-down economics. You can't, right? You can't because the powers that be, we don't live in the same world as before. Now it's about maximizing the profit in the world that they live in, which is the stock market more than it is the product and the people themselves. Where somebody like what you have going on here with In-N-Out, they can do amazingly well and pay their people well. Why? Because they've got the formula. They pay their people well. They have good people. And with their good product, they're able to reinvest it and still make money. By the way, she's worth, if you guys don't know, the lady who owns, so the In-N-Out family, it's the one is open in Lebanon, right? Lebanon now? And then the other one is open where Friday?
Antioch.
Okay, Antioch.
Yeah, Antioch and Lebanon today, and then Murfreesboro on Friday.
Yeah. So Lindsay Snyder owns it. They don't have 5,000. This is the chain that has limited amount. They slow it out. Slow kind of thing that they do. They pick and choose where they're going to open stuff. But she's worth almost $9 billion off burger chains. Think about that. Almost $9 billion. She was the youngest female billionaire at the time. She was the sole family survivor. There was a plane crash that killed all of them, and she was like the sole family survivor of the entire. She wasn't there. And
that seems a little bit suspicious.
Yeah, she was young.
Time to get
when they died.
Time to get Scooby and the boys involved.
Doink, Scoob! This is going to be crazy, Scoob! But the amount of what they do, how they run things is amazing. But they pay their people, even for working at a burger joint, they pay their people well. You know what? Cookout. I like Cookout. You got to think, though,
that today on the opening day, there's somebody back there behind the counter going, I didn't know I was signing up for this.
Yeah. Like Cookout, right? Cookout. I like to go to Cookout here. First of all, Cookout's super affordable, which is awesome. I'm always amazed. I go there and it's like, oh, I'll get food for the kids and everybody. It's like, oh, it's $32. Like, what? Shouldn't it be $132?
No, that's for parking.
Yeah, that's it. But and the Cookout over here by us is really weird because you have to drive in. You go all the way around the drive-in, right? And then you have to come back around and then hop in the lane. But they pay their people pretty well. But In-N-Out, they promote, they pay people well. We have to change the mindset we have in this country. And I get frustrated with a lot of what I see going on in our world, especially of politics, because the grifters are everywhere. They're everywhere. Biden and his family, they grifted the hell out of it. Trump and his family have taken it to a level that is unprecedented, if we're honest with ourselves. But nobody wants to be. But it is. All of these huge companies that are throwing money at them like you could not believe and into this and that, and they're getting richer and richer, and the average person, when Ford had his car, his whole goal was, I want to produce something amazing, but I want the people that work for me to be able to afford my stuff. Like, that should be a thing. Like, you should want that. And now it's because there are so many things that are public, and it's about that maximizing the profit to the point where you're like Costco and Walmart. Go look at the turnover of Costco and Walmart. People get jobs at Costco. They love it. Walmart, it's kind of, people get run through fast. See the retention rates. But when you're out there and things are public and things are in the situation where you're maximizing everything and you want the people to be able to afford it, but then you find out that a lot of these people are on food stamps and SNAP and assistance, and they're like, well, that feels like that's government subsidies right there for those companies. And it's frustrating. It is. It's not about, we all want to be, we should pay, people should be paid a living wage. There's no doubt. And I don't begrudge anybody. Elon wants to make $1 trillion a year. That's great. Elon pays his people really damn good. You're not working at Tesla and making a nickel. You're not. But we've got some issues. There's no doubt about that. And that's why people are frustrated in the affordability world. Well, what do you mean? Because, come on, let's be honest. And that's why I said earlier, the message that Trump puts out there, the message is the message, right? This is what it is, affordability. The messaging needs to change. And you need to talk. And one of the things you're going to have to do is you're going to have to find a way to get back to the younger generation, the 40-year-olds, the 35-year-olds, the 25-year-olds. Talk to them about affordability and what you're doing. Because right now, they hear you talk stock market, they don't care. Means nothing to them. They're not drawing on it. And if they are, it's because they had to take a loan out. I had somebody who was listening to my national show today hit me up and said, my mom loves Trump. She goes, I voted for Trump 3 times. And she's listened to my show for a long time. And she says, my issue is my mom, she loves Trump. My mom's in her 80s. She has $10,000 always in the house. She has $10,000 always in her bank account. She's got several $1 million over time in her stocks and portfolios. She's loving what's going on. And she owns her house outright. I don't have that. A lot of people that work for me and with me don't have that. That's frustrating. So that's why I said the messaging needs to change. Tailor it. If you want to go talk about the stock market and you're talking to a group of 60-somethings who are close to retirement and they're living life, that's one thing. But to talk about affordability with a younger generation, you're going to have to change that messaging because they're not feeling it. And, somebody said, well, you got to give Trump time. I've been saying you got to give him time. I didn't say I was going to fix it in the first day. He did. Am I right? He did say that, right? Like he said, for day one, we're going to get this done. But it's been this way for a while. And so people are just looking for a message that's going to, there's no doubt. First of all, and I'm going to say this to you guys, whether it was Biden and the Democrats and then Kamala, the world's coming to an end if Trump gets in here. No. Whether it's Trump saying that we wouldn't have existed if I wasn't voted in, again, no. We are the ones that matter. Politicians are just politicians. They're going to come and go. But we're what America's all about. And despite, the old saying is we fight like lions, but we're led by donkeys. That's true in a lot of politics. So we should demand better. We should demand honesty because we aren't getting what we bargained for. I'm frustrated. I went out and did a big video before on who I was going to vote for, not vote for, or whatever. And, I'm all about Trump. Trump, when it comes to the border, has been great. There's no doubt about that. That's been awesome. I like some of the stuff he's done, internationally. It's been pretty good. I think the Venezuela thing is going to be interesting to see what he does there. By the way, did you see we just took an oil tanker, Ken?
I did not.
Yes, we just seized an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. So there's that. I don't know what that means. I don't know if we're just going to stop them from ever taking oil.
Full of fentanyl.
No, this was probably going to China, not Russia. They don't need that oil. But that's a good win for us, I guess. I don't know. Why don't we just go confiscate everybody's stuff? I figured out how to get over this stuff. We just went and took it from everybody. You're like, that's a win. But we should want and demand our politicians and hold them accountable. And there's no doubt that this time next year, our economy is going to be doing much better. I have absolute faith in that, barring some insane incident, which in today's world, you never know. I think, but we got to slow down. We still have some inflation. My money guy that I talked to, who is very well heeled, if you will, and incredible, said, look, we've got two choices right now. We lower interest rates, and we're probably going to push inflation higher, 4%, 6%. We don't lower interest rates, we're probably going to go into a bit of a recession. That's kind of where we are. So today they lowered rates, and then we took some oil. So there we go. It's a win-win. It's a win-win. So I did not take Trump literally. I've never taken him literally. What did Nigel Farage say? I never take anything Trump says seriously, but I take seriously what he says. Meaning, Trump's going to say all kinds of wild things. Yes, but you can't believe all of that. At the same time, believe some of what he says, because some of it's true. I never once thought day one was it. But as I told somebody else,
anybody with a brain knows that's not possible.
The issue is, as I said to somebody earlier, have you met Americans? In a world of microwaves, in a world of instant food, in a world of TikToks where if it's a minute and a half long, we scroll by it because you never get to the story. We don't have the patience for that. And that includes inflation, and inflation has been here a while. So I never take anything Trump says literally when it comes to stuff like that. There are some things you take seriously, but that's not one of them. I never once thought he was going to stop the war in day one.
But the thing he does that's just not smart is he gives the Democrats all these perfect sound bites for commercials.
Uh-huh.
Or for Twitter statements.
Yes. And the other thing is, though, but now he's like, when he got an award from Politico as the most powerful person in Europe, because apparently everywhere he goes now, he has to get an award. So he got an award from Politico, and then he gave him an interview, and in the interview, he gave himself an A++++ when it comes to the economy. I think if we're honest, that's not true. Would I give it an F? Some of the moves I would. All of them, no. But if next year, in the middle of the year, you start to see after the primaries are done and everybody's out there throwing money at stuff, do you think that you're going to hear, I get an A++++, especially if the economy's not roaring? You gave them the opportunity to run with something. So.
Not making it easy on them.
Yeah, what's the old saying, right? Like, sometimes in life, if the other team's beating themselves, they're doing it. You just let it go.
Never interrupt your enemy when they're in the middle of making a mistake.
Yeah. Just you do you, and then we'll figure out where we go from there. Coming up, we got some good stuff. One Hit Wonder Wednesday. We got some White Woman Wednesday. Those white women. I don't know if they're women.
Jess or Carly this time? Kylie.
I'm going to do Jess.
Okay.
No, I'm going to do Kylie because we just did Jess. I'm going to do Kylie on this White Woman Wednesday. She's coming up straight ahead. Chad Benson, Super Talk 997. Yeah, these politicians. Somebody just texted in. He said he said what people wanted to hear. That's what all politicians do. All politicians say what they think the people want to hear. Like, what's going to work? I'm going to tell you what you want to hear. You give me your vote. But when do we start asking these politicians, and I don't care where it is, when are we going to start asking them, hey, when are you actually going to do some of the things you promised? We'd like some of that. When are you going to do some of the things that we expected you to carry through on these things? And if they aren't working the way you are, when are you going to start to come out and explain it and not put the blame game? And like somebody said, well, let's hold them all accountable. They all lie. And they all have grifted off of us. They have grifted off us in a major way. They're not even hiding it. By the way, yesterday in court, SCOTUS was hearing a new campaign finance, which would essentially take away the limits that individuals could spend. And so right now, you give $3,300 every. So if somebody's running in primary, you can give them $3,300, and if they win, you can give them $3,300. Okay, but you can't coordinate with the PACs and all of all the other stuff that's out there. Now you can. You can spend as much as you want. They want to get rid of that. We're not even pretending anymore. Guess who brought the suit? J.D. Vance. So the administration, do you know who they sent to defend? Nobody. The court had to appoint somebody to come in and go, this is bad, I guess. Money? It's so much in it. And, this isn't when we think of free markets and capitalism, I think we think, free market. No, this isn't that. It is crony capitalism. And we, as the middle, are getting squeezed. We're living in what they call this is a K economy. Upper, doing well, shrinking, and then out. The middle class getting smaller and smaller, which is the engine of the country. Many of you listening right now are middle class. Probably, I would say, a majority if you are. And that's shrinking on a daily basis. And I'm always curious, is like, you don't have questions about any of this stuff? And no, I never once thought Trump was going to fix it day one. And I didn't even think the first 6 months or so he was going to fix it. Because it takes time. Like I said, it's like weight. It's like it keeps going back to the weight thing. You didn't wake up and you're like, where'd this 40 pounds come from? That's weird, because yesterday I was wearing 32-inch jeans. Now I have to wear, stretchy pants.
What's the common analogy? Like trying to turn a battleship on a dime.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That takes time. But then it gets going, and then you get momentum. It's always going to be that way. And there's going to be ebbs and flows and stuff. But we should demand more out of our people, like Andy Ogles. So many people are texting in about Andy Ogles. Look, what Andy said was right about not the war with the liberal judges, because remember, not everybody understands that that's hyperbole, a little bit of anger out there. People say some stuff. But the whole thing with the liberal judges, yeah. And who changed that? And he did it with money? The evil George Soros. George Soros has done so much damage. Look, the Koch brothers, both of them were all the kind of evil people that you would think they are in a lot of ways. But George Soros did so much damage with all of these liberal justices. The likes of the Chesa Boudin in San Francisco. San Francisco got so sick of a guy that was so bad that they recalled him. This was a guy who would let anybody out. So, but where did that come from? That came from money. We've allowed too much money to get in here, and now they're doing everything they can to figure out how they can allow more. What ends up happening? Do you think they're going to have more power or less power? The uppers. All right, coming up, One Hit Wonder Wednesday. We're also doing the countdown of the 5 worst Christmas songs of all time. And I've had several requests that I just do One Hit Wonder with one and then play the one I talked about earlier. So maybe we'll do that. From Tiny Tim. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. It is the party that never stops. The man wearing the nice sweater.
You know where the sweater's from?
Where?
Can you, Bell can probably identify it.
I know.
Where?
Bell knows.
Big Lebowski.
Big Lebowski sweater.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
The wife got me this a couple years ago.
The dude.
I do not sport it like the dude, but.
Did you see he's in a T-Mobile commercial?
Oh, yeah, it's pretty
and then
funny.
Somebody said, dude. And he's like, what? No, not you.
Not you, dude. Love that movie.
It's a great movie. What's happening, brother?
I don't know it. We raised a lot of toys and a lot of joy yesterday. I know that. That was a lot of fun.
That was so cool.
It was. Sun went down and got real cold.
Your whole show. Did security get on you this year?
They did not.
Okay.
They did not. I avoided security, though. Don't tell anybody.
I was pretty excited about the fact that we have a 5-minute break and they put the bathroom 4 minutes away from where we had to be.
Where was the I never, you know what?
You had to
It's
go
funny.
into
I
the
never.
stadium and go
Did you really?
all the way down. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's
It
good.
was on the field. They just said go out there and
Good
just do
thing.
whatever you
My
want to do.
goodness gracious, what did Dan Mandis do? I bet he peed in the parking lot.
It's possible.
That is my bet. Speaking of Dan Mandis, have y'all done any check-ins on him?
Yeah, we've been checking in on him.
I got him calling in at 3 o'clock. I told him I want you to call me after you taste the delicious burger.
Yeah, he's been sending pictures.
And so has he gotten it yet?
No, the last we checked, he was still a ways away, but he's getting closer.
I'm on record as I'm well on record. I'm established that there is only one thing in my life that I would stand in line for 2 hours for.
What?
That is Dolly Parton. Preferably naked Dolly Parton, but Dolly Parton.
Younger naked Dolly Parton.
Sure, whatever. But
that woman still looks good for
nothing
especially
else.
for her age.
Nothing else. There's nothing else worth it. I would not stand in line for a hamburger for 2 hours. I just, I'll go. I'm sure it's great. I'm not.
Text from Dan.
Yeah.
It was amazing! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Exclamation point!
Okay. 4 exclamation points. And so that means if Dan Mandis has had his food, guys, that he is on his way to the station with our food.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Look how excited he was.
I saw that. I saw that. That was an hour. He was an hour out.
Yeah.
We sent the morning guy out for food and got in trouble.
Yeah. Remember that time I sent Mac? Yeah. So, I sent, Whataburger came to town, and I'm like, I really want some Whataburger. I've had Whataburger once before, and it's very exciting. And I said, Mac Morey, just don't tell Ken Weaver I did this, by the way, because Mac was working for Ken technically in the news department. And I said, just go get us some food at Whataburger. I said, and he goes, well, I might miss I was working noon to 3 then. He said, I might miss my, 1:30. I was like, yeah, well, whatever.
Nobody's listening.
And Matt gave him his credit card.
I gave him the credit card and off he went.
Well.
And it's funny because Ken was cool with it from a news perspective. He was like, I don't really appreciate this, but it's all good. The station was not cool with me sending somebody out doing station business in their own personal vehicle. Something about insurance. I don't know. Whatever. I say ask forgiveness, not permission.
And you did.
And I did.
There you go. And everybody got food.
About insurance.
Weren't those banana pudding milkshakes good?
God, those are amazing.
So good.
The milkshakes from milkshakes are hit and miss in a lot of these places. It's always a hit with In-N-Out Burger. And I said Alton Brown, and my buddy reminded me Anthony Bourdain's favorite food was In-N-Out Burger. Like that was
wow.
It is worth it. It is absolutely 100% worth it. All right, coming up, Dan,
In-N-Out talk.
Huh?
In-N-Out talk. That's all we're doing.
Talk, right? And if you want, I've got the I'll throw the In-N-Out up here because it's what a hamburger's all about. You guys have a good rest of your day. We'll do it again tomorrow. Late.